The Environmental Protection Agency has a mission of protecting human health and the environment. And one of the ways that we do that is through permitting. The challenge for a lot of folks is our permitting processes are very complicated. In some cases we own them from beginning to end, and in many cases we don't. Streamlining permitting is really crucial. It's where the rubber meets the road in terms of economic development and environmental protection.
Back in 2013, we realized that we needed to look at long-term growth at the site. In order to do that, we needed to buy additional land. We were looking to acquire about 468 acres. The challenge, though, of course, was that about 150 acres of that were wetlands. So we sat down, had some extensive conversations both internally and externally to figure out how we could get through the permitting process.
South Carolina has reduced the average time it takes to issue permits by about 40% since 2007, while being protective of our beautiful state.
In collaborating with the Army Corps of Engineers in this process, EPA has a supporting role. Boeing coming in early and letting us know exactly what they needed and what they wanted really helped that process meet the timelines. It helped us and the Corps.
Boeing really had done their homework, and so when they came and submitted a permit application, we were able to sit down with the agencies. We had a complete understanding of what they were proposing to do. In this case, Boeing was expanding an existing aircraft manufacturing and assembly facility. The facility itself is surrounded by development. There are interstates, there's an airport, and so the resources that would get impacted in some ways have been impacted before in the past.
We have learned that you cannot protect little isolated postage stamp pieces of property effectively, because those small-scale properties don't support the natural communities in the way that large-scale protection projects do.
One of the wonderful things about their mitigation plan is that they then looked beyond the boundaries of their site into the larger watershed, and were able to find sites that are related to the green belt for the city of Charleston.
It's made up of 3 different parcels. 2 of those will go to the U.S. Forest Service once we've gotten through some of the enhancement activities that we agreed to perform. And then the rest of it will go to the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. It was taking it a step further, still meeting our regulatory obligations, of course, but something that we could really give back to this community that had been so welcoming to us. One of the great things about Charleston is not only the people and the hospitality and all, how welcoming they've been to Boeing from the beginning, but also, frankly, the landscape.
At the Nature Conservancy, we like to lead with science, and we saw an opportunity here to set up a mitigation plan for wetlands that actually involved restoring native longleaf pine forests, which is a priority for conservation because so much of it has been eliminated and destroyed. So any opportunity to bring it back is really important.
The Boeing project changed the way we prioritize lands. We've added mitigation potential into the equation.
Since working with Boeing 4 years ago and working with 3 other permittees, we've actually been able to protect an additional 3,500 acres around the Boeing properties using a very similar approach. So I think we've proven that this is a successful and replicable mitigation strategy.
This was a project that was really good for the environment. It was good for the economy, good for the state of South Carolina.
When Boeing came to the table, they were prepared. When we held public meetings with the community and we met with their neighbors, Boeing had already been there.
My advice to others going through a complicated permitting process is to be open. Because of a lot of the work that we did ahead of time talking to the agencies, we were able to get all of the major permits that we needed, which included the wetlands permit in 6 months and 1 week.
Planning.
Communication.
Flexibility. Collaboration. Everybody came together to ensure that Boeing could expand their plant and create the jobs that are so important for economic development, but at the same time protect and enhance thousands of acres of wetlands that everybody can enjoy for generations to come.